guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin cosplay, and today we're back at guys with The Lost Kingdom, episode 4, season 1.
Last episode, what happened?
Young Ragnar was back because
Yes.
he left already.
He left with Brida. She left with him.
Yep.
Basically, Uthred was given many deals, many opportunities by Alfred, since he gave them good advice about the war. And they did win that fight, and but they lost their king. So now Alfred is king, and he's been, offering some stuff to Uthred. Uthred doesn't want to marry a Saxon woman, but he accepted to spend a year with the soldiers of Wessex to teach them not to fear Vikings, because they're basically just men.
Yep.
So, but for that to be a thing, basically he has to stay with them for a year, and Brida wasn't really happy about that.
We all know that nothing's gonna end in 1 year though.
After 1 year, he might just want to stay, we don't know, so we'll have to see. But yeah, Brida, she lost a baby, by the way, so that happened. She was pretty broken, and now she was told by Uthred that he wanted to stay in Wessex to keep his oath to Alfred, so that's not good. They separated.
The good thing is that young Ragnar understood why he has to stay, and he said, no worries.
I think he's mostly just happy that Uthred did not betray the family, you know? So, but yeah, Brida left with Ragnar, and we're in Wessex teaching a bunch of Saxons how to fight.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty much it. Let's jump in this episode and see what happens. Don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you want to know when these episodes come out, and check out our Patreon for the full reactions.
I was born an ealdorman of Northumbria, the rightful heir to Bebbanburg. But fate decreed I would be raised as a Dane until my family was murdered. Word was spread that I was to blame, and so with Brida I fled to Wessex. To Alfred, a man who would become king.
Despite not wanting any of this.
I swore an oath to this king. An oath that lost me Brida and prevented me from joining my brother Ragnar. But destiny is all.
I love how every time we do a recap, he ends it with "Destiny is all," saying basically, the gods have truly decided for me, so whatever happens, it was decided, I was meant to be here. I wonder if they are gonna change that eventually. If he stops believing in the gods, destiny is not all.
You don't deserve to marry. That woman is a lady.
That was a great
And you're a heathen.
show.
You could bathe all day long, you'd still stink of pig shit.
Have you been watching me, odd other boy? Should I be marrying you?
10 pieces of silver for you to walk away.
How about my sword's weight in silver?
Which is what they bought him for. So since Brida left, he just decided to go ahead with the marriage.
He wants to have a claim for his birthright land.
We'll see how that goes.
The bride has been given her price.
She will. You are witness.
Thank you, Lord.
If the betrothed couple would like to join me at the altar.
Like, he's buying her, he's never seen her, they have nothing in common, or probably they don't know. She just arrived and it's gonna happen right away. Fuck. At least she's pretty.
beautiful.
Yeah. Now hopefully she's got a great personality too.
Now join
And he's not that
life
bad.
in the eyes of God.
Oh.
Tears of joy.
Yeah, right. Of course. It's kind of like Rollo and his wife, take a moment to talk to her.
Well, for her, she's married to a man that is not a Saxon, that is Dane, doesn't respect her, doesn't
She has
respect
no
her
say in
culture
this.
and her god.
He didn't get to pick his bride, but at least he decided to get married. She didn't choose anything.
The marriage has taken place. They are now on the road to the farmstead.
Good news, thank you, Oda. We shall now see how he responds to the challenge.
Now it is done, Lord. I do fear for Mildred. She will have to give him the facts.
Oh, he will bark at her, Oda, I'm sure. But his real anger will be reserved for you and I.
What did you plan?
Is it the fact that marrying her, he doesn't actually get a lot of lands, he just gets a little place? Not like he was expected? Because I'm like, is there something wrong? Like, what
2 or 3 children.
do we know?
Oh, can she not have children or something like that?
Alfred gifted me such
Maybe.
a beautiful bride? There's a debt, I'm guessing.
My father wants to find favour with God, so he devoted 1/10 of his land to the church. They do not own it, but they are entitled to its yield. Indeed, they demand its yield, even when crops fail and Danes raid.
God is good.
So the bishop took my father to law.
How much is the debt?
It is a substantial amount, Lord. It increases yearly.
Okay, so
Alfred could remove the debt, but he has chosen not to. The amount owed is 2,000 shillings, Lord.
so he inherits the debt.
Stands for.
Damn this church.
Lord, I
Damn
must
this
say, I do not like your
My name is Uhtred!
And I mean, he just learned that he owes money to a church he doesn't follow. Like, give him a minute.
Yeah,
It's not her fault though.
no. But it is true that we will be pissed too if we marry someone and we are that huge debt.
Hence why no one
The land is
wanted
good,
to marry
the
her.
buildings are in need of repair.
The debt's not something I blame you for. It's Alfred's deceit. Should have been wiser.
Good.
Though I was blinded by you.
Smooth.
God has made me a wife. There must be a reason.
God is good.
This is
Yeah,
okay.
now God is good, yeah.
This is nice. We're going somewhere. I'll just wait for Brida to come back. For a sec, I was wondering if it was him or her.
Oh,
Already, okay.
Oh,
This is going fast. Like we're not messing around.
What is it you're looking at?
There's a scar across the land. There. A never-ending line of Danes on the march.
Ragnar?
they're back.
Yep.
By the time word reaches Alfred, it would be too late.
They're against each other. No.
They can tell, but like this is so.
Town lays in that direction.
Is it just young Ragnar and his people though, or because if it's just him, it's gonna be awkward.
Well, from what we say, it looks like it, but
Just them.
we're not sure though.
You will be happy to learn that my spies have news. Either the brother of Ubba has been killed there, which would be irrelevant, but for the fact that Ubba wishes to avenge him personally.
So we'll be focusing on Ireland. So we only have young Ragnar to.
Is this something Ubba would do? Abandon Guthrum?
To avenge his brother, yes.
If
guided by
Guthrum
his sorcerer's
stayed,
story.
yeah.
He has a sorcerer.
He advises, Lord. He looks for omens. Signs, good and bad.
Ah, what nonsense.
Well, you look for signs too with your god.
To miracles, Lord. Who gave the sign for Ubba to go to Ireland? It was the hand of your god? Or theirs?
There is only one God.
Then he must have spoken to the Danes.
Now in Ireland,
Gets
Guthrum
complicated.
must now decide whether he will fight. I am learning that the heathen cares only for personal gain. A Dane could never suffer my gruel.
Broth, Lord.
I like their dynamic. It's full of low blows. It's full of sarcasm. I could see them becoming friends too if they stopped trying to manipulate one another.
Mildred. I will not abandon him completely.
Thank you.
He may have a use, I'm sure.
Well, he has a use. Every time he shows up, you keep asking him questions about the enemy.
But I'm not surprised that just like his wife, Alfred got a closed mind about the Danes culture and
Oh, he's a man of God.
practice.
He was open-minded in a lot of the stories and, you know, in Vikings. This Alfred, he's a church guy before, but he's open-minded to the other side of being king, which is why he treats with them. But like his goal is to convert him. Like he wants one god for all of England.
Yeah.
I will begin. I propose a truce.
For any truce to occur, I'll go through. You must leave Wessex once again.
And if I refuse?
We surround you.
Yes, you surround a small fortress, but we Danes surround your entire kingdom. That said, I have decided I shall leave by sea. Therefore, I will send for ships.
How many ships?
No more than 15.
Liar.
Very well. Your ships have 1 month in which to arrive.
Not enough time.
Food and ale for 1 month only. Or you will walk back to East Anglia.
Then I will send for 200 ships in the hope they arrive before we start. 1 month is not enough.
That is my limit.
I don't think any of them are stupid, although trying to manipulate Alfred doesn't seem like a good idea. He's got that air, you know, that sounds like I know everything that you're trying to, you know, conceal from me.
Lord, I'd be more useful as a warrior for when the truce fails.
Oh, the truce will hold for a time. And in that time, you will be my eyes and ears inside the fortress.
Listening for what?
For Abba. If and when you hear of his return, you will escape.
And if I'm in chains?
Our men here shall disband. There are fields to work, but I will build a beacon on the hill. You will escape and light the fire.
Lord, you know that escape will be near impossible.
Well, you can
If
do
Abba
it.
returns, the hostages will be killed.
Upon sight of this first beacon being lit, other fires will start.
He
and the
doesn't
whole of
listen
Wessex
to
will be
him.
lit to arms.
If I refuse to
He
become
got
hostage,
And another man shall light the beacon.
He got his plan, and his plan's gonna happen no matter what.
Guthrum is waiting to hear of Abba's return from Ireland. I need to know when this occurs, sooner rather than later. You are the only man who could possibly provide this information sooner.
I'll do as you ask. But if my child is born while I'm captive, I ask that you send word.
Of course. And should you die as a captive, rest assured your debt shall die with you.
At least, like, he won't leave his wife, you know.
And his unborn child with that huge debt.
My men have orders not to kill you. Unless you deserve to be killed. Ragnar, son?
Here.
You know this one well. Keeping out of my sight.
Oh, brother!
I don't know how this is gonna end with both of them.
Brida's here.
You got
Hey!
a wife and a child.
Hey!
Please stay faithful.
Will it be, though?
No, no.
Like, I mean, they have a strong bond.
You should know I'm with Ragnar now. He's my man.
Oh.
It's good.
Good. You should know I'm married.
You should know that I'm married.
Married. You have grown up.
He's married.
Yes, he is married.
Tonight we get drunk. We must.
No.
I need to be
I feel like, you know, they both have significant others now, but there's no denying that the true connection is between them two. I don't know how that will evolve.
Is it a problem to you that Brida's with me now?
I'm happy about it.
Good.
I swear.
Hopefully it stays that
She
way.
cares what you think.
I would hump her regardless. with affection.
Do you know Uhtred's to be a father?
Oh, drink some more!
You would want to see it?
Yes, I hope to return to my wife and child. Ragnar, I'll be with you to avenge our father.
Just not for everything else, you know?
Kyuujin will pay.
You should have joined me months ago. With Brida.
I had sworn an oath.
You should have joined me.
I thought you were fine with this.
No more fun.
Well, when he said you have to follow the oath you gave Alfred, he probably didn't expect him to have a reason to stay with Alfred after the year. You have an heir, hopefully. Boy?
Song lady.
Hey, a son.
You will be Uhtred, son of
Oh my
Uhtred.
god. They'll get mixed up in the family history.
Well, we
Uthred.
got Ragnar and young Ragnar.
Morning, father.
Uthred, son of Uthred, brother of Uthred, father of Uthred.
One day seems like the next.
Lord, may I speak?
Freely.
Abba and his army have returned from Ireland.
Oh, fuck.
They're coming ashore north of here at the 7.
That is good news.
Your time is over, priest.
Oh, fuck, you need to escape, like, from... You need to escape yesterday, man.
You gotta survive this, come on. For your wife and child. Okay, okay, doing good. We're doing this almost in... We did this almost in one shot, though. That's cool.
Oh.
Ragnar,
Thanks.
please. Step aside.
But to get to him, you have to kill me.
Don't actually
My
kill
men,
him.
they will not follow you.
I will give you one last charity. Release him. Without a horse.
Thank God for this.
I have no words. You should go. Go and see your child.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like this too.
I'll be with you. Both of you.
Oh. Le grand Penhead. Et le roi répondra. Some Lord of the Rings geeky stuff, sorry. No, it's working, okay. I was contemplating, like, is this big enough? Wow, this episode seemed so short.
Went so fast.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't say it earlier, but I really loved the transitions in that episode. From when we were before, at the time that they got married and when they switched it up for her being pregnant.
How she turned around, yeah. It was a nice touch. And, I mean, time passes by really fast in this show. It was the same in Vikings at the beginning, and it could be jarring. I think it was jarring in Vikings, but now we're used to it, so...
Well, I think that beside the first episode where we switched for many years...
Well, this is less intense, but
this is less intense, so it's more manageable.
But still, in 2 episodes, we rushed through the year where he waited, you know, at Alfred's command, helping him with the armies, and now his wife, she's pregnant and she's about to give birth, so that's 9 months with his wife since the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going by really fast, but we're used to it now, so it's not as shocking as it was in Vikings. And considering, like you said, yes, the transition, they take the time to show us the little things that changed, and we get to see them change a little bit before we get the huge reveal that 9 months later, like, they have a good relationship and she's, you know, she's pregnant and stuff, so at least we have time to adjust, and I like that. Okay.
I'm so glad that he saw past the death, that it wasn't her fault, that she didn't have a say in it.
Yes.
And
he's not a bad person.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah. And, like, he's married, and he was supporting, you know, he had made an oath to Alfred, and we were saying last episode that he seems to be the type to really want to keep his promises and his oaths and stuff. So he made an oath to that girl by marrying her, so I like that. Not only does he seem to be faithful, but, you know, he told Brida, and even though he definitely still loves her, you know, he's kind of blessing the relationship that she has with Ragnar, and he focuses on his wife and child because he's gonna have a responsibility to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. I also like that even though he was pissed off when he arrived at his farm, basically, and, you know, it wasn't as welcoming as he probably should have been, considering he's the Lord returning to his farm, you know?
Yeah, but...
He seemed to have developed a good relationship with the guy that's in charge later, so at least that...
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. In any case, I wanted to talk a little bit about Alfred. Last episode we were saying, you know, I was saying that he's a man of God, of course, you know, he's always been driven by the church, and he's been driven by what it means to be a church guy, but I was saying last episode, he doesn't let that cloud his judgment on what he has to do as king and stuff. This episode, though, I felt like he was pushing that side of him a little bit more. So we need to remember, like, we've said it and you've said it, it's not the same Alfred as in, you know, Vikings.
Of course he's not the same Alfred.
But then that Alfred was also very driven by the church. I feel like the church is going to be prominent in his mind at all times. You know, he has this goal in mind of having one England under that one God, and Uhtred is to be tested. If he is to be trusted, he has to prove that, you know, he can become a Saxon, follow the same God, and be, you know, at, well, Alfred's beck and call, basically. That's a mix of French and English, I think I just said, but it's fine. Anyway.
You mean that Uhtred needs to be Alfred's bitch?
Well, no,
basically.
But he needs to see him as his king.
Yeah.
And he's been kind of rebelling against that a lot. Like, he's doing what he needs to do, but there's still such a strong inner purpose for that, you know, that's linked to him just wanting what he's owed. And he basically wants the milk and the cow that gives the milk and the butter and everything, basically. He wants to stay a Dane and stay faithful to Ragnar and stay faithful to Brida, stay faithful to his father, yet he wants to have his lands as a Saxon alderman. He wants what Alfred could give him. He wants the benefits of being, you know, a Saxon. He thinks he can have it all, yes. But Alfred is not stupid. He reads him like an open book, and, you know, church being very prominent in his mind, despite the fact that, yes, I do still think he's pretty open-minded to the idea of,
well,
you know...
He's open-minded to make the Danes
Christians.
Actually,
what I will say then,
the thing is, in his mind, for him, the only God that exists, it is his God.
Yeah, I think when I say open-minded, I'm mixing words here, because it's not so much that he's open-minded, like, he wouldn't go as far as to say, you know, my God is my God and your gods are your God and your gods, and they're just as valid as my God. Like, he's not open-minded in that way. But then he won't openly insult the Vikings for following other gods. He'll ask about their ways. Like, in this episode, though, he did laugh a bit at the idea of sorcery, but I think he would be open to the idea of talking about it.
The thing is, you can technically still believe that your own belief is your truth, maybe the truth, we don't know about that, but you should still consider the fact that even though that you believe in something doesn't mean that other people believe in other things, and even though that you think that what they believe in is wrong and nonsense, the fact remains that they still believe in those things, those gods, those practice. So you need to consider those things seriously.
So instead, so I'll say this then. Alfred sees the Vikings as potential Christians instead of seeing them as lost causes that you just need to eliminate. So in that way...
like children, or just play pretend and make stories about gods.
Some Saxons would look at the Vikings as, you know, monsters that you need to kill to get rid of them. And some Vikings would see the Saxons as, you know, the same thing. You know, basically they're lost causes, they're dumb, they're stupid, we gotta eliminate them. And then you got some Vikings who are open to the idea of learning about their god. I'm not saying converting, but learning about it and, you know, trying to understand why they believe in it as much. You know, there's curiosity behind it. But then, you know, when faced with the possibility to convert, they'll be like, no, fuck off. Like, my gods are my gods. And Alfred is like that a little bit. Like, he has one god and he'll follow that god, but then he will ask questions because he is a tactician and he is king now. I think if he understands his enemy, the more he understands his enemy, the better he will be at war. And that's why he can pull off those meetings so well.
With all the sarcasm and the sassiness.
Well, he cannot back down. He cannot give them anything because he was told he would be, you know, looked as weak. You know, they would judge him and they would see him as weak if he did that. So I love that every time he has a meeting with them, he doesn't, like, he gives them his terms. It's basically not a negotiation. He's just, this is what I'm giving you. So what are you going to do about it?
Like I said, Alfred got his plan in mind, and no matter what happens, his plan will be done.
Yeah. He is not above, though. Like, the only thing I didn't really like in this episode was, and I mean, I'm saying didn't like, but because, yeah, I don't think it's a good character. Well, no, it is a good character trait, but I don't appreciate that character trait. But the fact that, you know, he was using God and duty and stuff as a reason for them to go,
guilt trip the priest to be an hostage and try to convert Guthrum to their cause.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he wants, and he'll get it.
That caused the priest's death.
I know. But then he told them, like, if you die, you're just serving the church, you know? So you can't win against Alfred. That's the feeling I get, which in a way makes him a really good character, but I didn't like that. I didn't like that personally, as, you know, like, I wouldn't be friends with this guy. I'd be admiring him from afar. I'd be like, huh.
Well, from what we saw, he's good with manipulation, guilt-tripping people into doing what he wants to do.
And, like, for example, like, the wife and the debt problem, he didn't tell him about the debt. And what the debt does is, you know, test him and his loyalty to the church and to Wessex and to him. He didn't tell him because he knew that if he told them, he would rebel. But then when Uthred went to him and was, you know, all angry about it and saying, like, if I had known, I would never have married. He's like, yeah, but it wasn't a secret. Everyone knew about it. So he made sure, like, it's not a secret.
Everyone but him. That's the main
twist.
thing.
But you can't fight Alfred over this because it wasn't a secret. Everyone knew. But then he made sure that he didn't, though. Like, he took he just made, it's not so much that he made sure, but he didn't inform him knowing he would, like, he knew he didn't know.
Yeah, he backed himself up.
Yeah.
Just to be sure.
Well, so, like, it's all about knowing, it's knowledge, yeah. Basically, knowledge is power is the right motto for Alfred. And he uses the church to fuel his choices and to try and pave the path that he wants for himself, even though he sins here and there, because, like, he is still human and he's open about his, you know, his sins and his weaknesses, which in a way I kind of like that, because at least he won't see himself as the perfect human being, the perfect saint who will, you know, who is always right and always, you know, perfect in every way because he follows God completely.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we will ever get a speech like that from him, and I like that.
Speaking of people who think of themselves as being perfect in every way and good Christian, Alfred's wife, seriously, for a sec, I was really afraid that she might try to do something to Mildred's baby.
Why? Like, it's a good thing that they have that baby. Alfred asked for that marriage. It's just that she is not... Well, she represents the Saxons that see the Danes and the Vikings and see them as people who are not worth converting.
No, but I mean, she could have maybe seen you're married to a Dane, Ethan, and you're carrying his child. That child's gonna be a demon, something like that. So I'm just glad that she...
Well, no, because he's gonna be a Saxon baby. It's gonna tie Uthred to Wessex.
With a Dane father.
No, but
you know?
Alfred is gonna need that baby. It's like, it's confirmation that he has a link to the Saxon world and to Wessex. That there would be no point, but she doesn't, you know. I think what that scene did was just show Mildred that she has no supporter. If she says that she actually sees him as a good man and he takes care of her, and she stopped seeing him as a monster and saw him as her husband, and she's the only one who does that because everyone will always look at him and see a Dane.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the scene did. Just confirm that, you know, it's never going to be easy for her husband. And I think maybe in that way she will relate because she herself was not desirable because of the debt. You know, she was pushed aside. It looks like no one asked to marry her. You know, she saw herself as kind of a disgrace because she came with the debt, and then she was probably thinking, you know, no one is going to look twice at me. And now she's with a guy who, the fucking fly. I told you there's one. I'll get it eventually. Did you get it? Ah, fuck.
I don't think so.
Anyway. But yeah, maybe she connects with him in that way. You know, both of them are kind of outcasts. Although she is accepted by the court. You know, Alfred's wife likes her and she's got family around, but now she's got this guy in her life who she actually likes and who is nice to her. It's just that now she's the only one who thinks like that when it comes to him. So she is alone in that way. Yeah. Anyway, I like that they developed a friendship, and and that their marriage seems to be doing well because it could have been completely different. In any case, did you want to talk about something else? Oh, by the way, I also really, really love that even though Ragnar, was angry that Uthred found a reason to stay even longer with Alfred because now he's got a child and a wife. Like, I think he realized he's not coming back, and he was pissed at that. But then later he came back and he understands, you have a wife and child. It's not, oh, fuck, you have a wife and child. It's like, okay, you have a wife and child.
Yeah.
I get it. Now you go back to them.
He slept on it and he come to that realization later on.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like, well, he wasn't drunk in the morning.
He got sober in the morning.
Yeah. So I like that, and I like that Brida's also... Brida is always going to be trying to be like, okay, you kept saying that you're still a Dane, but now look at you. Like, you're becoming more and more Saxon every day. But at least, even though she will keep saying that to him, they are still fond of one another, and she seems to be doing well with Ragnar, so at least there's no awkwardness between them.
For now.
I mean, if they start fighting each other, yes, they'll. I think they will understand, though. It's kind of a situation where you both make your choices, and you got to stick with them, and they understand that that's what's going to happen. And if they see each other on the battlefield, as Vikings, maybe they just see that, kind of like Harold and his brother. They kind of see that as, okay, we're on different sides.
Destiny is all?
Well, yeah, basically. Like, the gods decided to put us on different sides of this battlefield. Let's just enjoy our last moment, because they do live for glory, and death is only the beginning for them. So knowing that they're just humans, it would probably traumatize them to kill one another on the battlefield. So maybe they won't fight. But if they do have to fight, at the moment, they might just do it for the sake of doing it. Because that's what they have to do. It's war, and...
I hope that we're not gonna see them fight each other
I would
soon.
hate that. I would hate to see
Please.
them fight each other. But there is a war coming. They will fight. I don't know if Ragnar will stay with Guthrum, considering Ubba came back. Which, by the way, I confirmed it, online after the first 2 episodes, but... now we got the information in this episode, but the Ubba in this show is Ubba from Vikings.
Okay.
But the Ragnar that got Uhtred into his that basically took Uhtred in his family was not the Ragnar from Vikings.
Okay.
He's meant to be someone else.
Okay.
It's just that Ragnar is a popular name. But Ubba,
of course it is.
Ubba is the Ubba from Vikings.
Okay, so that's his brother Haiva, and was Gudrun one of his brothers? Because I'm pretty sure that Gudrun was one
He's
of
an
the...
earl. I don't think he's a brother.
Okay.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken with the names, I think Guthrum represents a Viking that whose storyline they gave to Hvitserk in Vikings. If it's the same guy.
You think?
Well, that would be a spoiler, but then I don't know if they'll go this way with this. But there was a Viking who lost the war and decided to convert to Christianity with Alfred as his godfather. And they gave that storyline to Hvitserk in Vikings. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So, but that was not Hvitserk who did that. That was a Viking named Guthrum. So this could be him.
You think that could be him?
Well, considering he spent the entire episode listening to a priest talk to him about heaven, maybe.
Well, we'll see. We got 5 seasons?
Yes.
So we'll see until the season 5.
We will see. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it is on Patreon already. Check it out if you want. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't, we have the next one to be out on YouTube, which will be next week. So
I got a hair in my eye.
See you guys.
Fuck, sorry. Bye!